Let me ask you something. If I gave you the choice today, a brand new Toyota Fortuner, a Ford Everest, a Mitsubishi Pajero Sport, or an Isuzu MUX, which one would you choose?
Here it comes.
Don't answer just yet, because that's exactly what we're going to figure out today. You see, the Toyota Fortuner has become one of those SUVs that almost everyone knows, whether you are in Kenya, South Africa, Australia, Thailand, the Middle East, or South America. You'll probably see one every single day. And that's not by accident. People buy the Fortuner because they believe it's reliable. They believe it's tough. They believe it will last forever. But here's the real question. Is that the reputation still deserved in 2026, or are buyers simply purchasing a name? Today, we are going to answer that. We'll explore every angle of the new Toyota Fortuner, from the design to the interior, to the engine to the technology, to the off-road capability, and finally, I'll give you my final Andrew Smart score. So, grab your favorite drink, get comfortable, because this isn't just another review. This is your complete buyer's guide. Welcome back to Andrew Smart Car Reviews. If this is your first time here, please consider subscribing to the channel. It will help a lot. My mission is simple: to help you make smarter car buying decisions. No unnecessary hype, no confusing jargon, just honest reviews, real-world insights, and everything you need to know before spending your hard-earned money. If that's the kind of content you enjoy, you're in the right place. Now, let's talk about one of Toyota's biggest success stories, the Fortuner. Here's something interesting. The Fortuner wasn't designed to be a luxury SUV. It was designed to compete with Range Rovers or Mercedes-Benz G-Class models. Instead, Toyota built something much smarter, an SUV that could comfortably take your children to school on Monday, handle your daily commute on Tuesday, tow a trailer on Friday, and then climb a rocky mountain over the weekend. That kind of versatility is incredibly difficult to engineer, and that's why the Fortuner has earned the trust of millions of drivers around the world. Now, does that mean it's perfect? Absolutely not. We'll talk about its weaknesses later in this review, because no vehicle is perfect. But before we get there, let's start with what everyone notices. First, the design. I'll be honest, when I first saw the 2025 Fortuner, I didn't think Toyota had reinvented it, and that's actually a good thing. Why? Because the Fortuner has always had a very clear identity. It's bold, it's practical, and it looks like it belongs anywhere. Whether it's parked outside a 5-star hotel or covered in mud after a weekend adventure, Toyota has refined the design rather than completely changing it. Starting with the front, the grille immediately grabs your attention. It's larger, sharper, and more sculpted than before. Depending on the trim and market, you'll see different grille finishes, but they all contribute to a more modern and premium appearance. The LED headlights are slimmer and more confident. They are not just there to look good, they also provide excellent visibility for night driving and poor weather conditions. Move lower and you'll notice they redesigned the bumper. It's muscular without looking overdone. Toyota has managed to make the Fortuner feel rugged while keeping it elegant enough for everybody city driving. That's not an easy thing to balance. Now, let's move to the side. This is where the Fortuner really shows its SUV character. The high ground clearance isn't just for appearance. It gives you the confidence to tackle rough roads, flooded streets, gravel tracks, and uneven terrain without constantly worrying about scraping the underside. The strong shoulder line running along the doors add a sense of movement even when the vehicle is standing still. The wheel arcs are pronounced, giving the Fortuner a planted and capable stance. Depending on the trim, you'll find alloy wheels that only improve the look but also compete with the SUV rugged personality. The strong shoulder line running along the doors add a sense of movement even when the vehicle is standing still. The wheel arcs are pronounced, giving the Fortuner a planted and capable stance. Depending on the trim level, you'll find alloy wheels that not only improve the look but also complement the SUV's rugged personality. And then there's the roof rails. They are practical if you enjoy camping, road trips, or carrying extra luggage, but they also enhance the adventurous image Toyota has cultivated over the years. Around the back, Toyota has kept things clean and functional. The LED taillights wrap neatly around the rear corners, making the SUV instantly recognizable at night. The tailgate opens wide, giving you practical access to the cargo area, something families and frequent travelers will appreciate. And speaking of practicality, the rear design isn't just about aesthetics. Every element is there to make daily use easier, from loading groceries to parking for a long road trip. One thing I appreciate is that Toyota hasn't chased unnecessary styling trends here. The rear still looks purposeful, which suits the Fortuna's character. So far, the Fortuna has made a strong first impression. It looks tougher, more refined, and ready for almost any journey. But here's where things get really interesting. A great looking SUV is one thing. Living with it every day is also another. Now, let's step inside because this is where you'll spend almost all your time. And honestly, this is the part that can either make you love a vehicle or regret buying it. After all, the outside is where everyone else will see, the inside is what you live with every single day. First thing I noticed was how familiar everything feels, and I mean that as a compliment. Toyota hasn't tried to reinvent the wheel here. Instead, they are focused on making the cabin intuitive. Everything is exactly where you expect it to be. You don't need to spend 3 days reading the owner's manual just to adjust the air conditioning. And honestly, that's refreshing. Some manufacturers today seem obsessed with putting absolutely everything inside one massive touchscreen. It might look futuristic, but when you're driving, sometimes you just want to press a button. Toyota understands that. Take a look at the dashboard. It's clean, it's modern, and surprisingly premium. Depending on your market and trim level, you'll find a combination of soft touch materials, metallic accents, and leather finishes that give the cabin a genuinely upscale feel. Now, is it as luxurious as a Lexus? No, and Toyota isn't trying to make it one instead. They have built something that feels durable, something that should still look good after years of daily use. That's exactly what Fortuna owners expect. Let's talk about the steering wheel. This might sound like a small detail, but it's one of those parts of a vehicle you interact with the most. The leather-wrapped steering wheel feels comfortable in your hands. The multifunction controls are easy to reach. And depending on the specification, you can control your audio, phone calls, and voice commands, and even parts of the driver's information display without taking your hands off the wheel. That's not just convenient, it's also safer. Right behind the steering wheel, you'll find a clear instrument cluster that balances traditional gauges with modern digital information. Depending on the trip, you'll see information like fuel economy, navigation directions, safety alerts, driving modes, and most of all, tire pressure. And also, without forgetting vehicle information. Everything is easy to read, even in bright sunlight, exactly how it should be. Now, let's move to the center of the dashboard. The infotainment system has become one of the biggest deciding factors when buying a modern vehicle. And thankfully, Toyota has kept up. Depending on your market, the Fortuner comes with a touchscreen infotainment system supporting wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Bluetooth connectivity, USB connectivity, voice recognition, and navigation on selected models. The menus are simple, the response time are smooth, and perhaps most importantly, they are easy to understand because, let's be honest, nobody wants to spend 10 minutes trying to connect to their phone before driving home. No one. If you ever sat in a friend's car while they wrestle with Bluetooth for 15 minutes, you'll really appreciate a system that simply just works efficiently, and Toyota makes it very better. Now, Let's talk comfort, because road trips can quickly become uncomfortable if the seats aren't designed properly. Fortunately, Toyota has done a solid job here. The front seats provide good support for both city driving and longer journeys. They are wide enough for comfort, yet supportive enough to reduce fatigue. Depending on the trim, you'll find a power adjustable seating, heated or ventilated seats in some markets, and premium leather upholstery. Now let's move to the second row. Legroom is generous, headroom is excellent. 3 adults can comfortably fit for shorter trips. 2 adults, even better. Then we arrive at the third row, and yes, everyone always asks the same question: can adults fit back there? The answer is yes, but I probably wouldn't volunteer to sit there during a 10-hour road trip. Children will love it. Adults, let's just say it's best saved for shorter journeys. You wouldn't wish to sit on the far end of the third row seat. Before we continue, if you're enjoying this review and you're finding it helpful, I would really appreciate your support here on Andrew Smart Car Reviews. My goal is to help you make smarter car buying decisions with detailed, honest, and easy to understand reviews. So if that's the kind of content you enjoy, take a second to hit that subscribe button. Give this video a like and turn on notifications so you don't miss our upcoming reviews of the cars that you really love. It only takes a second, but it really helps the channel grow and let me keep bringing you these reviews. Now, let's find out what really powers the 2025 Toyota Fortuner. Now, we have reached the heart of the Fortuner, the engine. And if you are anything like me, this is probably the section you have been waiting for, because a great looking SUV means very little if it struggles when you actually need power. Whether you are overtaking on the highway, climbing a steep hill, towing a trailer, or heading off-road with your family, the engine is what brings everything together. So, what exactly powers the 2025 Toyota Fortuner? Depending on where you live, Toyota offers the Fortuner with different engine options. The most popular and arguably the most respected is the 2.8-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder diesel engine. In many global markets, this engine produces around 201 horsepower and approximately 500 Nm of torque when paired with this 6-speed automatic transmission. If those numbers don't mean much to you, here is what they translated to you in real world. The horsepower helps you build speed, but the torque, that's what gets this SUV moving confidently, especially when you're carrying passengers, towing a trailer, or climbing steep terrain. Torque is what gives the Fortuner that effortless feeling when pulling away from a stop or tackling challenging roads. And that's one of the reasons diesel engines remain popular in many parts of the world. Now, you might be wondering, why didn't Toyota simply fit a larger engine? The answer is efficiency. A turbocharged uses exhaust gases that could otherwise be wasted to force more air into the engine. More air means more fuel can be burned efficiently, and that means more power. Without dramatically increasing engine size, it's a clever way of getting stronger performance while maintaining respectable fuel economy. Think of the turbo as giving the engine an extra push exactly when you need it. Let's talk about comfort. One thing many people don't realize is that the Fortuner shares much of its engineering with the Toyota Hilux pickup. And you might think, won't that make it uncomfortable? Surprisingly, no. Toyota has tuned the suspension specifically for SUV use. Around town, it absorbs potholes and rough roads confidently. On the highway, it feels stable and composed. You still know you're driving a body-on-frame SUV, but that's also a part of its strength. It feels solid, confident, and also built to last. Now, let's leave the tarmac behind, because this is where the Fortuner really begins to shine. Depending on the model, you'll have access to Toyota's part-time 4-wheel drive system. That means when road conditions become challenging, you can engage 4-wheel drive for additional traction. Whether you're driving through mud, loose gravel, wet grass, snow, or deep sand, the Fortuner is engineered to keep moving. It's not trying to be a sports SUV, it's trying to be a dependable adventure companion. And there's a big difference, or should I say, and that's a big difference. Of course, just because your Fortuner can climb a mountain doesn't mean you should test it on your neighbor's flower bed. Your neighbor might kill you. Let's talk about everyone's favorite subject, fuel. No SUV this size is going to sip fuel like a company hatchback. But for body-on-frame 7-seater, the Fortuner delivers respectable efficiency. Actual fuel consumption will depend on your driving style, terrain, traffic, road, and engine choice. And long highway journeys, you'll generally see better economy than in heavy stop-and-go traffic. And if you regularly travel long distances, the diesel engine's combination of range and torque make it practical option for you to choose. So, who is the Fortuner really built for? If you're looking for a sporty SUV with razor-sharp handling, there are better choices. But if you need a vehicle that can comfortably handle your weekday commute, carry the family on weekends, travel long distances, tow when required, and confidently tackle rough roads, the Fortuner makes a compelling case. It's designed for people who value dependability over drama, and sometimes that's exactly what you want. Before you buy any SUV, there's one question that's even more important than horsepower, more important than leather seats, and even more important than fuel economy. Can this vehicle protect the people you love? Because at the end of the day, that's what really matters. And thankfully, Toyota has taken safety very seriously. Depending on the trim level and market, the 2025 Toyota Fortuner is available with Toyota Safety Sense, a suite of intelligent driver assistance systems designed to reduce the likelihood of accidents and make driving less stressful. Let's break down what those features actually do in everyday life. We'll start with the pre-collision system. The Fortuner continuously monitors the road ahead using cameras and radar. If it detects a possible collision, it warns you, and if you don't react in time, it can automatically apply the brakes to help reduce the impact or even avoid the collision altogether in some situations. It's like having an extra set of eyes watching the road with you. The other one is the lane departure alert. If the Fortuner senses you're drifting off your lane without indicating, it alerts you, and unequipped models can gently assist you with steering to help you stay on course. Sometimes it's those tiny moments that really matters a lot. The third one is the adaptive cruise control. Adaptive cruise control allows you to set your cruising speed while automatically adjusting the distance to the vehicle ahead. If traffic slows down, the Fortuner slows down. When traffic speeds up, the Fortuner accelerates back to your chosen speed. It's one of those features you don't realize you need it until you've really used it. The other one is the blind spot monitoring. Blind spot monitoring warns you before changing lanes, helping reduce one of the most common causes of highway accidents. And then we have the rear cross traffic alert. The rear cross traffic alert watches for approaching vehicles from either side and warns you before you reverse into danger. It's a simple feature but an incredibly useful one. We have the 360-degree camera, notable in many cars these days. Now, let's be honest, the Fortuner is not a small SUV. The available 360-degree camera system gives you a bird's eye view around the vehicle, making parking and maneuvering much less intimidating. Safety helps prevent accidents. Security helps protect your investment. The Fortuner comes equipped with features such as an engine immobilizer, a remote central locking, a smart key system on higher trims, an anti-theft alarm, and in many markets, owners choose to add GPS tracking system for additional peace of mind. Considering the Fortuner popularity around the world, investing in additional security is often a wise decision. So, what's it actually like to own one? This is where the Fortuner really earns its reputation. It's the kind of SUV that adapts to your life. Monday morning, school run. Tuesday, you commute to work. On Friday, you have a business trip. On Saturday, you can go camping with the family. And on Sunday, a road trip to somewhere you've never been before. The Fortuner doesn't ask you to change your lifestyle. It simply fits into it. And that's probably one of the biggest reasons it has remained so successful around the world. That reputation didn't appear overnight. Toyota has spent decades earning it. Before I reveal my final score, if you enjoyed this review, please take a moment to support the channel, subscribe to Andrew Smart Car Reviews, leave a like in this video if this video helped you, and share it with someone who's considering buying an SUV. Every subscription helps this channel grow and allows me to create more detailed reviews just like this one. And if there is a car you'd like me to review next, leave it in the comments. I'll read all the comments. Now, let's go the 2025 Toyota Fortuner. Let's break it down. Exterior design, I'll give it a 9 out of 10 or a 9.4 out of 10. Interior comfort, I'll give it a 9.2 out of 10. Comfortable, practical, and long-term durability in mind. Technology, 9. A solid mix of modern features and keeping controls simple and user-friendly. Engine and performance, I'll give it a 9.4 also. The 2.8-liter turbo diesel delivers excellent torque and dependable performance. Off-road capability, I'll give it a 9.5 out of 10 because it is confident on rough terrain and ready for real adventure. Safety and security, I'll give it a 9.3 out of 10 because it is strong, active safety features and reassuring security technologies. Practicality, I'll give it a 9.7 because it's a genuine family SUV, well for work, travel and adventure. And the value for money, I give it 9.2, not the cheapest in this category. Overall, Andrew Smart score, I'll give it a 9.3 out of 10. I think that's a very good score. Would I recommend the Toyota 2025 Fortuner to you? Absolutely. Not because it's the fastest SUV, not because it's the most luxurious, and not because it has the biggest screen. I'd recommend it because it understands exactly what it's meant to be: a dependable family SUV, a capable adventure vehicle, a comfortable long-distance cruiser, and a machine that's earned the trust of millions of drivers across the world. If you're looking for an SUV that balances reliability, practicality, comfort, and genuine off-road capability, the Fortuner remains one of the strongest choices in its class. Now, I'd like to hear from you, and if you have a budget today, would you choose the Toyota Fortuner, the Toyota Prado, or the Toyota Land Cruiser 300? Tell me why in the comments down below. I always enjoy seeing your opinions and experiences. This has been Andrew Smart Car Reviews, helping you make smarter car buying decisions. Until next time, drive safe, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next review.